Hey, what's up? What's going on, guys? It's your boy Rico, aka Rockstar, here back with another video. And as you guys can see, I am in my brand new office, in my brand new apartment here in Miami. So today we have another live trading session video, and this one's gonna be a little bit different. This is actually me taking a pretty big L in the markets today. And I mean, it's not that big. I guess it's subjective based on what you consider to be a big L. It's not really as big as it could have been, but thankfully I got off the charts when I was supposed to. But I actually wanted to upload this because I know that on social media, on the internet, on YouTube in general, there's just a lot of, when it comes to trading, a lot of lifestyle, a lot of money, a lot of wins and green bubbles and profits, but I really don't see people posting their losses. And when I started uploading these live sessions, as you guys know, if you tuned into some of the past ones, the purpose of me uploading the live sessions is to educate you on the trades that I'm taking and why I'm taking certain trades, just so that you can kind of get into the mind of Rockstar, right? And how it is that he analyzes and looks at the charts. And I thought, okay, cool. Well, winning is cool, but we all know that traders don't win 100% of the time. So how misleading is it if I only post my winning sessions and I don't show you guys the losses as well? So in this video, this is going to be a fire session of me kind of just breaking down a day where I could have gone really good. I actually took 5 total trades this session. We only won 2 out of the 5, which means I take 3 L's. And it's so funny because the 3 L's that I took were literally on the same exact pair. Revenge trading. And I know some of you can relate to it, but this was a session that I took place in the midst of me moving. My head was literally everywhere, and this was my first session back on pretty much as the move started to settle down. And it just did not go good. It did not go good at all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you Hulk smash that like button for your boy. It helps my channel out. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button for more videos just like this. And let's go ahead and jump into the video.
I feel just like a rock star.
All right, guys, so this morning, it seemed like it was going pretty good. Like typical morning, I got on, look for my setups. Now, if you're not familiar with the way that I do trade binary options, and binary options is based off of percentages and percentage payouts based on, obviously, the broker and what the broker is paying out. So what I typically do when I get on is I look at my broker first. I look at which currency pairs are trading the highest percent. I don't trade anything below 70%. All right. And as I do that, I then start to look at my currency pairs and go back and forth with deciding which trades or which pairs I'm going to be trading for that session. So right off the bat, we get into Euro CAD on a beautiful entry based on my strategy. If you guys are not familiar with the 3 steps that I follow, I would highly recommend going to check out my #1 binary options strategy for beginners, because that's the basis of how it is that I trade. And yeah, so first trade, as you guys can see, we got in right at the bottom. Nice little pullback there. The trade is going to eventually, obviously, stay around this area, but towards the end of the trade, it just shoots up absolutely in our direction for a nice payout. All right, couple $100 on that, which is amazing. Now, one thing that I do typically do when I trade, and you guys will see this in some of the other sessions, is the currency pairs that I am looking at for that day. You will typically see me mark them on the watch list, a different color. So all my pairs start off as green. And then when I start to identify potential pairs that I'm going to be trading for that session, I change the color on that. You can tell right off the bat that my headspace or just my mental was completely off with coming back into the markets, because I didn't mark or keep track of any of the pairs that I was actually looking at. It was literally a rush thing, going back and forth, most likely trading on my laptop, which I don't typically do. Clear that first trade, which is awesome. But as we clear that first trade and we start to look for other setups, it was just a hot mess. So about 10 minutes goes by of me just looking through different currency pairs, sifting through the pairs and trying to find a setup at this point. And this is something I always talk about. And, you know, I'm human, right? So we all, I guess, fall back into some old habits. But because I haven't traded literally in like over a month, I swear I get anxiety sometimes when I don't trade for too long. And it's for a few reasons, man. I mean, number one, if I'm not trading, then I'm not making money on the charts. Number two, if I'm not trading, I don't have any content. And number three, I feel like if I just go too long without trading, I kind of just lose that. Like, I guess when I'm trading consistently, I kind of have more of a level-headed of just relax and chilling. And then when I take a long break and I come back, it's like, oh my God, I haven't been off for so long. Like, my anxiety is through the roof, right? So, so right here, I literally 10 minutes goes by. There's no setups whatsoever. At this point, I'm literally just forcing trades, right? And you're going to see this as this continue to go on. I'm like marking up and stuff like that. And I'm also kind of doing a little educational thing, which wasn't really the best because I did not clear these at all. But I'm trying to multitask here and really mark this up. And I'm marking up GJ. And GJ just absolutely just destroyed me this session. And I don't typically trade around the 200 moving average, and I know I talked about this in previous videos for multiple reasons. It's just so tricky around that 200, especially when you're looking at a 5-minute. All right, you're looking at the higher time frame and you're looking for the bounce to the downside, but then your lower time frame is clearly showing that it already broke the 200. So are you really looking for that bounce down, right? If the lower time frame is already above, the higher time frame is still bouncing off of it and coming down, I should have known not to trade this, but for some reason, I just kept doing it. So GJ is the next trade that we're going to be jumping into, GBP, JPY, and I believe we get in right now. That's why the screen stopped moving. So again, I'm on my laptop, so you guys will notice a difference in my videos when it's from my laptop or like a multiple screen kind of setup versus when I actually have my monitor, because you're going to see me flick back and forth through both screens in the video versus when I'm on my actual monitor, it's ultra wide, so you'll be able to kind of see both of them at the same time, and I'll just change the view on it to make it better. So we got into the sell right here on GBP JPY, and obviously we're at a good point where it's like the top of the markets, and I was pretty confident in this, but clearly we're going to see that the trade just does not go in my favor. And I do typically have like a strict rule in my trading, whereas I don't like to overtrade. I don't like to look, watch this, look at this. Premature entry. It's funny because I knew that I did it and I still went ahead and did it, but so when I'm trading, I typically have like these strict rules that I trade by as part of my trading plan. One of them is not to overtrade. So if I take an L on a pair, or if I roll over, I don't roll over more than once, right? For the most part. For the second part, I don't even take setups like this. Like, this literally makes no sense. I have no idea why I took this. And some of y'all can probably relate, but I want to show you that even people like me that I make money daily in the markets, I still take L's like this, right? So it's normal. It shouldn't discourage you. But I want to make sure that you guys can learn from my mistakes. And that's why I'm posting these losses on here. Learn from my mistakes, man. Don't be me in some situations. All right, so we got that premature entry. Obviously, I was waiting for the new candle to open to see what happens. And not only is the setup just not okay, but if you look at my indicators, and again, just knowing my strategies, look at my indicators. None of the indicators are pushing to the downside yet. Like, this was such an early entry. You can tell like my brain was just completely off, and I'm like typing to myself right now. I'm like giving myself some external motivation. Next candle drop. I don't know why I do things like this, man, but clearly I do. And as you can see here, I actually doubled up. I doubled up. Again, this was just a bad move, man, a bad move. So the trade was actually about to end, and I doubled up on the position with the hopes that obviously at the next candle, it would actually make that drop that I was looking for. But again, why double up? Why double up when the setup isn't there, right? It didn't make sense. So it's just completely out of my trading character, out of my trading form. And I take 2 L's right off the bat right there. Just immediately 2 L's. Now, typically when I take 2 losses in the market, I literally get off the charts and I don't trade anymore. But again, this was my first day back in the markets, and I just needed to feed that hunger because it's been like what, almost 60 days of no trading, and I come back and do this. Now, what's so crazy about this session is that even after taking those 2 L's, I did not give up on GJ. And as you can see, I am literally still looking at it. I'm still staring at this chart, and I'm just watching it go up. I'm watching it go up. And, you know, if I would have gotten into the trade setup, or I gotten into the trade when I actually got my setup, then this would have went so much better because I probably would have just taken 1 L. Like right now, it's looking good for a sell. Like literally right now, it's looking good for a sell. And it's still not going to work out, right? It's still not going to work out. But it would have been so much better to just wait for the setup. And that's why I always tell everybody it pays to wait. But just to wait for the setup, because 1 L would have been so much better than what I did today or this day. Because this video isn't today. But we move on, and I have Euro USD that I'm looking at right now. And this one does look like a better setup. This was just on the fly kind of thing. I literally went to the next currency pair and we got a nice opportunity right here. As you can see, you look at the indicators all lining up on the 3-minute. Okay, we already have the stochastic cross. The DMI is extended. The 5-minute is looking like it's about to do the same thing. And we get that first red candle down. So you see I'm doing these quick markups. Everything is on the fly, especially with binary options. A lot of the times, these trades right here are just like, you got to be in. You got to get in quick and understand what the market is about to do. So I am waiting for this sell opportunity right here. And I'm pretty sure I'm about to get into this trade. Yep, I got into it right there for the sell. So we just got in for the sell right there. And what that was is, obviously the market is starting to push up. So this was a counter trend trade, whereas the market is starting to push up, but we always get those pullbacks in the market. And that's kind of what I was looking for. So I wanted to just get into a position that would kind of, it was going to be quick and it could make up for at least one of the losses that I just took. And that's exactly what I did. So I got into a quick position on Euro USD. By the way, the US dollar was strong during this session as well. I know I didn't show that on this session, but the first thing I do before I trade every day is I check Forex Factory. I check the news to make sure, obviously, there's no news going on. And on occasion, I would check the currency strength meter, especially on days where I don't really see any setups, but I want to get into something. I'll check the strength meter just to see if I can get anything, you know, good on a strength wise, right? So the US dollar was stronger than the euro on this day. So this sell was looking good, even though it was only a short-term position sell. All right, I was still confident that I could clear this trade. And as you guys can see, it was a pretty solid entry. So here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. That was a clear. So we are officially 2-2 on this session. We got 2 wins and 2 losses. This should have been the point in time where I got off the charts. 2 wins, 2 losses. Could have been a nice day, you know, not necessarily break even, because we know it's all based on percentages. So even though I did win twice, the 2 wins were only about 70%, 70 to 77% of the total position, whereas the 2 losses were 100% of the loss. And my bright ideas, I'm like, you know what? Perfect. We're going to make up for this. We're going to go positive this session, even if it's only a couple hundred. And I jump right back in to GBP, JPY. Why? Because I actually have the setup now. It's actually looking good at the exact moment that I put the vertical line, which is where I kind of estimated the candle was going to drop at. Everything was looking amazing, man. I don't know what happened, but I should have been off the charts a long time ago. I shouldn't even have still been trading this. And I got into the position. Let me check the timestamps. Yeah, I should already be in. Let me see. I think I may already be in. I'm not sure, but I should already be into this trade. And sadly, it just doesn't work out. So we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch how this plays out real quick. Man, when I tell you this setup is just looking beautiful, I don't like. Sometimes the market just doesn't go in your direction, man. The first 2 trades shouldn't have taken, but this right here, this is a prime example that, hey, your strategy is not 100%. It's not always going to win. And this is a prime example. Now, I could have gotten in at a better entry, and that probably would have helped me clear this. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see at the end. But I did kind of get in at the drop. As you guys can see, I hesitated because I really didn't want to trade this. But I was in profit for a little bit, man. I was in profit for a few minutes, and then out of nowhere, it comes right back up. And your boy was in tears, man. First day back on the charts, and it's red. But I wasn't expecting anything else. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything else. Sheesh. I push up. Look at this. And you guys can clearly see. So if we're looking at all the indicators, right? Looking at what I'm about to type. Look, finish him. Yeah, they just fatality me out of the market. It's over. It's a dub for that. But if you look at the indicators, everything looks good for the sell. On the 3-minute, though, we have that nice fake out, man. They definitely faked me out. It's pushing back up on the 3-minute. I start looking for another setup, even though I shouldn't have. And let's see, hold on, let's see where this trade goes. Let's see if I even show it. I don't think I do. Oh, there we go. No, I don't show it. That is it for the session. I don't show that loss right there. I was kind of just out of it. I didn't even think I was going to post this, honestly, but I think it's freaking hilarious, man. I do think like times like this where like you get a losing day. And that's why it's good to record these things, right? Because you get a losing day. And as you're losing, you're upset because nobody wants to lose money. Like that's never the goal or the intentions when getting on the charts. But then you look back at it and you're just watching this. And it wasn't until I rewatched it that I started to see all my mistakes and just the nonsense that I was doing. And I'm just like, what in the world was I thinking, right? So it makes it so much funnier. Well, to me at least, right? To go back and see this kind of stuff. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video too, man. We went 2 and 5, right? 2 out of 5, which means we got 2 wins out of 5, which means we got 3 losses. and we definitely went red on that day. A couple $100 in the negative, but it's all good because we made it back in later sessions. So stay tuned for that, guys. And as always, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you Hulk smash the like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And if you haven't already joined my Telegram channel, make sure you guys go do that in the description down below. Beautiful Telegram link there. As always, this is your boy, Rico, aka Rockstar, with another trading session, but I'm out. Peace.
I feel just like a rock star.
To stay in tune with everything Rockstar Effects, including coaching and one-on-one mentorship, make sure you join my personal Telegram group down in the description below at Teach Me to Trade. And if you haven't already done so, add me on Instagram as well at RockStarR Effects.